जनरञ्जन यमुनतीर वनचारी यमुनतीर वनचारी जय राध माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राध माधव कुंज बिहारी. Okay, now I'm starting with Mangalacharan. Om Anjana Timirandasya Jnana-shalakya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapandatikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavim Cha Shri Rupam Sagrasitam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikat Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radha Rindevane Shivari Prashabhanustute Devi Pranmami Hare Priya Vancha kalpapadasya kripa sindhu bhaya evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So, as you know, today's topic is easiest way to meet Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 14. Prabhuji will share that text 14 and the purport. Ribol. Anya cheta sattam yoma smriti nityasha tasyaham sulbha partha nityayuktasya yogina. Here in this shloka, the most important words are anya cheta, that is without deviation of the mind, satatam, always. So the translation is, for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Now, there are two words, ananya cheta, without deviation of the mind, satatam, always. So when we are thinking of the Lord always, then we start to grow the seed of bhakti. Now, this verse explains that we can reach our final destination. How? By pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord in bhakti. Now, as we know, there are different processes, processes and different kinds of devotees. So someone may become a devotee of the Lord when he is in distress. That is the case with most of us. You know, when we are in trouble, or some situation worries us, then we start thinking of the Lord. We start praying to Lord. Also, Prabhuji, can I keep sharing the screen for the purport? Okay. So the others are other kind. One is distressed, as I said, and then there is inquisitive. Some want to know what is this Krishna consciousness about? What is Krishna about? So they want to find out more. And there are others who think that if they pray to the Lord, then this will give them material gains. And then there are those who are um, seeking, who are just speculative philosophers. Now, these different processes that are there are the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga. Now, these some people want to attain Lord through these processes, but the most recommended process is Bhakti Yoga. A pure devotee does not desire promotion to heavenly planets, and he's not seeking to become seeking liberation. So, and he, as and he doesn't liberation for material entanglement. A pure devotee does not desire anything. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pure devotee is called Nishkam, which means he has no desires for self-interest. And a person who is purely wanting to please the Lord and he has got no motives for personal gain, he is a perfect devotee. He has no desire other than to please Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Lord says that for anyone who is unflinchingly devoted to him, he is easy to attain. Now, what examples can we think of? Parikshit Maharaj, and who gave up in 7 days, devoted himself to the Lord. And we can also think of Prahlad Maharaj, who wanted nothing else but to please the Lord. So a pure devotee always engages in devotional service to Krishna in one of various personal features. They can either pray to Lord as Ram or Narasimha. But as long as the devotee chooses his mind, fixes his mind in loving service to any of these transcendental forms of the Supreme Lord, then he can continue with his bhakti. Such a devotee meets with none of the problems that uh, that are associated with the other processes. Uh, in here, we can simply start by chanting Hare Krishna, and the Lord is so merciful. He is inclined towards those who are striving to serve him without deviation. The most important point here is to serve without deviation. Lord helps such devotees in various ways, as stated in Vedas. Katha Upanishad 1.2.23, Yatha evasa pranute tena labhyasa tasya atma viranute tanum swam. One who is fully surrendered and engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord can understand the Supreme Lord as he is. And as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 10.10, the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam. A Lord gives such a devotee sufficient intelligence so that ultimately the devotee can attain him in his spiritual kingdom. The special, as we've said, a special qualification of a devotee is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering time and place. Even if there are difficulties that come his way, he should not stop his services. He should carry out his service anywhere at any time. Some say that devotee should remain in a holy place like Vrindavan or a holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. It was Sri Advaita who told Lord Chaitanya, wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavan. Now here, we can take our current situation. Now, the temples are closed, and has that stopped our service? Has that stopped our devotional service? Okay, there are now we are limited in carrying out physical devotional services where we can go to the temple, serve the deities, serve the, cook, clean the temple, and serve Vaishnavas. But what we have now done is we are serving the Lord by uh, Zoom programs. In those Zoom programs, people are uh, attending more hearing than they ever did before. I am not sure whether all of you would agree. Would you agree that we are now spending a lot more time uh, getting knowledge and listening to lectures and associating with devotees and many more devotees? In a day, we can be associating with 2, 3 different groups or doing 2, 3 different studies. So that is, maybe that is how Lord has meant us to be for this time. Now, here it indicated, Satatam and Nityasha, as I said, which means always and regularly, every day. A pure devotee constantly remembers Krishna and meditates upon him. And if you look at our system, if you get up in the morning, you do Mangla Aarti, you do chanting, you listen to a class, then in the evening, you do the evening Gaura Aarti, you serve the deity 3 times a day, then you are engaged in a devotional service daily. And as far as is possible, this should be done daily without deviation. And the another way to attain Lord is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we all chant, some of us chant 16 rounds, those who are initiated. Some of us chant, more rounds, maybe on certain days. And what I would say is, from my this meeting with the Baba in 2018, when I was coming back from my 2 months in Vrindavan and Mayapur, on the way, I went to Gurgaon to meet some of the devotees that had initially brought me into Krishna consciousness. I was very fortunate. They took me to a Bhakti Kuti, where this Baba chants for 9 hours a day. And this Baba has told us that if we want to meet Lord Krishna in this lifetime, then we should chant 64 rounds a day. I know that is difficult for, it's not easy process. So what my Guru Maharaj says is, to get into that process, you chant extra rounds on Ekadashi. If we do 64 rounds on Ekadashi, and we do 64 rounds when, in this pandemic, my Guru Maharaj was, when he got COVID, all the devotees got round together on the Zoom and started doing extra rounds. And it was because Guru Maharaj has an app that we could add our numbers. It was astonishing to see that some of the devotees were chanting whole day. They were doing the chanting, they were doing the Nrsimha prayers, they were going circulating Tulsi. So all of these can help us to attain Krishna. Uh, is there are there people who are trying? I know we are all we do extra rounds when we can, but for those who are seriously interested in increasing their rounds, please get in touch with me later, because we have some sessions where we do these extra rounds gradually. It's a process where you start with doing more rounds, and then slowly we get into that mode where we do want, whenever we can remember, we chant more rounds. Okay. Now moving on to coming Wednesday, we all know is Lord Ram Nami, when Lord was born. Currently, there are many devotees who are listening to Ram Katha. So what I thought would be nice to do is share a couple of devotional stories from Ramayana with you. I won't proclaim that I am expert in Ramayana. So those who have read Ramayana diligently, they can interrupt me and help. But what I think I will do is I will share a story of Shabri, which most of us know about Shabri's story, but I will share that again with you. And also, I will share Hanuman's devotion to Lord Ram with you. And then, if you want to share your realizations from the Ram Kathas you are listening to, or from your Ramayana studies, or some stories come to your mind, that would be so lovely. So I would be waiting for everybody to share their little stories after I finish sharing my two little stories. And that would help me, because then there will be no time for questions. So let's start with Shabri's story. So, who was Shabri? She was a hunter's daughter. So she used to collect. They lived in these forest where she would collect twigs for the fire for his father, for her father. Now the father thought of getting Shabri married. Shabri was not inclined towards material life. She only wanted devotional service. So she ran away. She ran away to a forest where she came across this forest had an ashram. This was Matang Muni's ashram. So what Shabri did was she stayed by near the ashram, and she would go and clean before dawn, before people started the yagnas. She would go and clean the ashram, and she would collect twigs for the yagna, put them there quietly, and disappear. Now the rishis, they all noticed that somebody was quietly doing this service. Matamudi wanted to know who was doing the service. So the rishis watched, and they saw this little girl. Then they approached her, and they took her to meet Matang Muni. Matang Muni asked her, "Why are you um, why are you serving us quietly?" She said, "Because I love the atmosphere of this ashram, and I want to stay near here and do devotional service." So Mahatma Muni said, initiated her into Ram Nam, and he's blessed her. He said, "My dear child, in this lifetime, you will meet, Lord will come to see you." And so she was very happy with that. and she continued with her services to the rishis and the ashram. A few years later, before Bhatat Muni passed, before he passed, he gave her kutia to her so that she could live there and carry on with her devotional service. So Shabri would every day, she would continue cleaning the ashram, and she would bring petals, uh, collect flowers, and then she would strew the flowers from her gate, from the gate to her door. In case Lord came, then she wanted Lord to walk over the petals. And she would also bring fruits. She would bring berries. What she would do is she would she would taste the berries and keep the sweetest of the berries for Lord. She would do this every day, and all the other residents of the ashrams, they would laugh at her. They said, "Why do you do this every day? You should do this when Lord comes." She said, "My guru said Lord could come any day. So I want to make sure that everything is ready for the Lord when he comes." So every day she would make all the preparations and keep looking at the gate to see when my Lord is coming. And she was always chant, Ram, 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 Jai Shri Ram, Ram, Ram. So one day, as she was looking at the gate, she saw Lord Ram and Lakshman. Of course, she would recognize her Lord. So she hurried to the gate and she welcomed Lord Ram to come to her kutia. She made sure that Lord Ram and Lakshman would walk over the petals. As they came to her kutia, tears were flowing down her cheeks. She washed Lord Ram's feet with these tears. She didn't need any water. And then she dried Lord Ram's feet with her hair. And then she brought the food to serve to the Lord. Lord was very touched with her devotional service. When she gave the fruits, Lord happily ate the fruits. Lakshman at first did not like this. He did not, but when he saw Lord Ram eating the fruits, he also took the fruits. So Shabri said to Lord, Lord, please teach me how to do devotional service. So Lord Ram then explained to Shabri the 9 steps of devotional service. I'll try to share my screen for these 9 steps. Let's see. Prabhuji, can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can.
I'll try and see if it works.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 9 steps of devotional service that Lord Ram spoke to Shabri were, he said, number 1 is...
We can't see anything, Mataji. We can just see the apps there.
Oh, you can't... So I can... Okay.
So you may need to change the screen or something like that. We can only see the apps.
Okay. Sorry, Prabhuji. So let me just...
Otherwise, you may want to close other windows.
Right. Okay.
And then just keep only that one. Then let's see. But currently, we are only seeing the apps.
Okay. Just seeing my battery has gone low, so I better first check that. No. Right. I will stop sharing because I don't want to spend too much time.
Yeah.
And I will just read them out to you. The 9 steps that Lord Ram explained to Shabri were: the first step was keep company of saints. And the second step was Haribol, is that?
Yeah, we can hear you well.
Okay. Second step was
it is coming from you only, Mataji, whatever
is
the
it
voice.
coming from me?
Yes, maybe from another window or something.
Okay, just a minute. Has it stopped now?
Yeah, we can't hear you that now. Let's try.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah, it's all digital, so these things happen.
Okay. It's not my. It's my husband's laptop, so never mind. Next time I practice, so I get it right. Okay. So the second step is. Oh, I'm sorry about this. Let me just see.
I think is someone hearing your lecture there?
No.
Or one is that your YouTube is someone put a YouTube lecture there, your lecture, that one thing. And secondly, if someone is hearing your Zoom class elsewhere, that would happen.
I haven't told anybody.
Okay, so let's
Is it
try
live
again.
on YouTube? It says. No.
It is, yeah, it is live on YouTube, but yeah, it's better now.
Okay. So please ignore it because I can't see anything at the moment.
No, this is okay now. We can't hear anything.
Okay. The second step is enjoy listening to pastimes and glories of the Lord. Third step is selfless service to Guru's feet without any pride. Fourth is singing glories of Lord without any motives. And fifth is chanting Lord's name with faith. Sixth is practice self-control, good character, develop a good character and detachment from material activities and follow all the prescribed duties. Seventh, to perceive the world as God himself and regard the saints higher than the Lord. So these sometimes would need an in-depth explanation, but at this point I will just keep to the point and not go too deep into it. And the eighth is to be in state of contentment and peace with oneself, with whatever one has. This state is reached by following first 7 states. In this state, one does not see fault in others, even in dream. Ninth one is full faith in Lord. In this state, one becomes like a child, simple, with no hypocrisy or deceit. So devotee becomes equanimous. He's neither happy or depressed in any life circumstances. Now, this is very interesting. You know, we also have gone through a study of 9 steps of devotional service in Bhagavatam by Parikshit Maharaj, by Prahlad Maharaj. So this doesn't change, you know, from Treta Yuga to now. We still talk of the same pure bhakti. Obviously, it will not change. I should we not? I don't know where it is. Sorry, Prabhuji, I'll just.
No, don't worry. There is something, yeah, coming from your side.
I will just close this.
Yeah, just close everything apart from your Zoom. That's gone now. Looks like.
It's annoying because it keeps on coming up. Okay.
Oh, it keeps on coming up.
Sorry, devotees. Please excuse me for this, but we'll just carry on. So now moving on to, shall I, these 9 steps of devotion service that Lord has explained to Shabri we can see that there's similarity in what we talk in pure bhakti, where we talk about chanting the Lord's name, we talk about chanting Mahamantra, we talk about, practicing singing glories of the Lord, keeping company of saints, Guru Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, uh, then being the one that's a little bit difficult is to perceive the world as God himself and regard the saints higher than the Lord. That's fine one about regarding the saints higher than the Lord. But because we say this material world is a place of misery, so to perceive the world as God himself, what we are saying here is we should see, if we see all this creation, this world as Lord's creation, everything emanates from him, then we will stop finding faults with the world, and we will be attached to what is our focus, which is to be thinking of God and serving him, and not get disturbed with the material problems of the world. Although that doesn't mean to say that we do not help and support when calamities arise, but we should see everything emanating from Lord. Okay, I can see to allow time for other devotees. Now I'll share you the story of Lord Hanuman. Lord Hanuman is the biggest devotee. He's the best example of an unalloyed service to the Lord. So, Hanuman would serve Lord at all times, and he would make sure everything that Lord needed, he would be there to serve him. Now, this meant that Lakshman, Shatrughan, and Bharat felt, and Sita, they felt deprived of services to Lord. They felt that Hanuman was doing everything to do, serving Lord, and they did not get opportunities to serve the Lord. So they got together and they said to Mata Sita, we are not happy that we do not get chance to serve the Lord because Hanuman does everything for the Lord. Sita said she felt the same, that she did not get chance to serve the Lord either. So they said, okay, what we will do is we will set up a royal declaration, which will say that the three brothers will serve the Lord from dawn to dusk, from sunrise to sunset. And they asked Mata Sita to go to Lord to sign this royal declaration. So Sita, Mata, Ribol. I don't know where this keeps on coming from, Prabhuji. And I don't know how I can stop it.
Is that laptop or iPad you are using?
So if I... Okay, so Lord Ram, when Sita took this royal declaration to Lord Ram, he looked at it and there was no name of Hanuman there. He understood, but he signed the declaration. And so the three brothers started serving Lord, and then Hanuman came. Hanuman didn't know about this. So when he wanted to do any service for Lord, the three brothers told him that, look, we are be serving Lord from morning till evening. So there is no service for you. So Hanuman was very upset. He looked at the royal declaration And so he said, okay, I will. And they said to him, you can go and do a service. You can choose a service of your choice. So Hanuman said, okay, what I will do is I will snap my fingers whenever Lord yawns. So Hanuman started following Lord Ram everywhere. He stayed beside Lord in case Lord would yawn. Now, it was Mata Sita observed that Lord Hanuman was not even eating food because he was keeping an eye on Lord in case his Lord yawned. So when the evening came, she said to Hanuman, Hanuman, you go and take a, the Lord is sleeping, so you go and take a rest. Lord Hanuman would not disobey Mata Sita. So what he thought was he will go up to the top of the terrace, just above where Lord Ram was sleeping. So what he did was he started snapping his fingers and saying, Ram, 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 Ram. Because Hanuman was chanting that, Mata Sita saw that Lord Ram's mouth, Lord also started yawning in conjunction with Hanuman snapping his fingers. And Lord Hanuman was snapping them constantly. So Lord Ram's mouth got tired and it remained open. It would not close. And Mata Sita got very worried because tears were also coming down Ram's eyes. They then called Muni. I'm checking the Muni's name, their guru.
Is that Vashishta?
Vashishta, yeah. Vashishta came and he said, Vashishta looked at the situation. He saw Lord Ram's mouth open. He saw Lakshman, Sita, and all of them. They're worried, but he did not see Hanuman there. So he understood the situation. He said, "Where is Hanuman?" They said, "Hanuman is on the top of the terrace." So Lord Muni Vashishta went to get Hanuman. He asked Hanuman, he saw Hanuman deep in meditation. Ram, 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 Ram. So he gently woke him up from his meditation and said, Hanuman, please come with me. So Hanuman, still in meditation, came down. And when he saw Lord Ram with his mouth open, he stopped snapping his fingers. And that way, Lord Ram was able to close his mouth. At that time, Sita, and they realized their mistake. They realized that everyone has the opportunity to serve Lord, and we should not stop anyone from serving the Lord. And also, Lord reciprocates to you depending on your devotional service to Lord. So we all want to emulate Hanuman in serving Lord. Is there anybody else who wants to share any stories?
Can't see anyone raising their hands, Mataji.
No?
No.
What about you, Prabhuji?
No, I'd like to hear from you, and maybe if you want to say something about the verse as well, that is also fine.
About, okay, coming back to this verse, for one who remembers me, always remembers me without deviation, I'm easy to obtain. O son of Pritha, because of this constant engagement in devotional service. Now, as I said, that to do all these services, one of the easiest way when we first start is by chanting or taking some small service. Not there's no small service, but when the temple is open, we can take services at the temple, and gradually we can build up on those services. Uh, and I find that this chanting of Mahamantra is the one of the best, one of the ways, because there is no, every service is, devotional service is important, but chanting it is one of the service that we see our previous, it comes from the parampara. You know, Narottam Das, he was chanting for hours and hours. So chanting is, and this is what, when you see Lord Ram also says that if you, anyone who sings glories of Lord, they are sure to find God. And this Baba that I met, he was, it really did help me to think, yes, we need to, when we are initiated, we start with 16 rounds. But as we get older, or as we become, more proficient in our prescribed duties, and although we might be reading Bhagavatam, we might be reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, but along with that, it's very important that we chant a lot more rounds. I definitely feel that there is a lot more power in chanting together, and we have experienced that with the Japataka Maharaj's devotees getting together and praying for him whenever he has been in difficulties. It has proved that the prayers of the devotees, which is chanting, has helped him to be still be in this world. He says it's because of his devotees' prayers that he is able to uh, overcome all the difficult health challenges. So I would like now to see if you have any questions, or would anybody else like to say something about this Ram Nami. What I have personally realized when I was preparing this talk was that I need to, just as we read Bhagavatam, we need to also read Ramayana. I will certainly be trying to find time so that I can get to a bit more well versed with Ramayana.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mataji, for that. Just, I think, one comment from my side. You mentioned chanting extra rounds. That is, that is very much appreciated. But the main principle is that we just follow Prabhupada. Prabhupada said minimum 16 rounds. There are, but minimum. So that's what we do. Minimum 16 we do. And Prabhupada also said the one thing, that we need not to go and take instruction from other places, because that sometimes confuses devotees. Minimum 16 means you can do. Maximum, like Haridas Thakur also we can do. But minimum 16. And Prabhupada repeatedly said that not to go and take instructions from elsewhere, because that will confuse devotees. Prabhupada was really, really strict. Um, so, and also because Prabhupada said minimum 16, if we obey, we get the full benefit, because that is the instruction of a pure devotee. Of course, there is no hard and fast rule at all. We can chant as many as possible, isn't it? As many as possible. But I think that the minimum 16 is must. Of course, if you have time, devotees chant 64, devotees chant 128, 196. But I think the main thing is we focus on Prabhupada's instruction of chanting minimum 16 rounds. When we got time, more rounds can be chanted. There is no harm, isn't it? Taking no harm, extra round, chanting extra rounds is not a problem at all. Let me see, there was a comment in the chat box. Thank you, Mataji, for the beautiful pastimes of Lord Ram and Hanumanji. That was a comment from Meena Jadani Mataji. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so also thank you for the pastimes about Shabari and Hanuman, how Shabari was very much obeyed our spiritual master, and that was following the spiritual master instruction again, isn't it? Yes, spiritual master told that you would see Ram, and he didn't tell the date. He did not give any date. Yes, but she had faith in the spiritual master, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's actually, if you see the whole pastime of Shabari, that actually shows the faith of devotee to spiritual master. That pastime tells us that if you are faithful to your spiritual master, then everything else will be fall into place. The Lord will be pleased. So following spiritual master instruction is the main thing from Shabari, if I want to pick up. She was very obedient to her spiritual master. And at the end also, if I remember well, correct me, that when Lord Ram asked Shabari, what do you ask something from me? What can I give for you? She said that, I want to go to my spiritual master place. Wherever my spiritual master is, I want to go there. She didn't say that, take me to Vaikunta or Ayodhya or Golok Vrindavan. She said, wherever my spiritual master is, I'll go there. So, yeah, so the spiritual master has, very much, the role of spiritual master is no way we can underestimate. And these instructions are final. And also, thank you for sharing Hanuman's story, how, he's always interested in serving others. When we serve others, we make less offenses, isn't it? we don't have time for any other thing. We can just keep on serving. When we don't serve, then everything else come into our mind. Empty mind is a devil's den, as they say, but always we can find some kind of service following in the footsteps of Hanumanji. Thank you very much, Mataji, for sharing.
Yes, Prabhuji, and I agree with that we have to follow Prabhupada's instructions to do 16 rounds. Anything else is just let us at least stick to our 16 rounds.
Yeah, minimum. Prabhupada said you can chant more. There is no doubt, but that is the minimum instruction, and we obey Prabhupada instructions. Again, just like if you see the Shabari example, Shabari obeyed her spiritual master.
Yeah, because others were laughing at her. Why you're doing this every day?
Exactly. So that's what happens. Similarly, some other people may comment and say something to us, but if we obey our Param Guru Prabhupada, the result is going to come to us onto our path. We should have full faith in the instructions of our Gurudev, Param Guru. That is what I felt. So thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Really appreciate your time and for wonderful preparation. And just a couple of comments. Everyone, I know that there are some devotees on YouTube, some only few are on Zoom. The sunny day out there. Devotees must be having some fantastic time elsewhere. So Ram Navami is coming up, as you all know. It is on 21st April, Wednesday, coming Wednesday. Fasting until noon. Please remember that. And we have dedicated next 3 classes. Wednesday on the festival day, and Friday, coming Friday, and also coming Sunday, we're going to discuss Ram Katha, more of Ram. Today we have done it. We'll take that. We'll take that from there. We will build up more Ram Katha, and there will be evening program starting from 7 p.m. and there will be a darshan of Sita Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman as well. So please do take opportunity to join in. So, okay, that's it. And also I request all the devotees to kindly offer sincere prayers for Pankajanga Prabhu's recovery. My understanding was that Pankajanga Prabhu was taken to Kolkata a couple of days ago, but I'm not sure if he's back to Mayapur yet. I understand that he was in intensive care or something like that. But we request all the devotees to kindly take time out, chant a couple of extra rounds, pray, and do some kirtan for speedy recovery. Hare Krishna. Anything else from anyone? Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari.